The Sun Devils, in what may be their last time at the Rose Bowl in a long time, they stunned the UCLA Bruins tonight, winning 17-7 here in Pasadena. ASU improves to 3-7 on the season. Nick Borgia of Devil's Digest joined alongside publisher Hode Urbino. And Hode, all season long we've heard from Kenny Dillingham about how much grit, how much fight that this team showcases each and every week. And I think this week it finally showed off for the Sun Devil team.
Yeah, without a doubt, because this team absolutely had its teeth knocked in last week at Salt Lake City, 55-3, the worst conference loss in program history, period. So there definitely was a lot for this team to prove on both sides of the ball. We talked in our preview, Nick, that this wasn't exactly a convenient opponent to really bounce back and to show that you did have a good week of practice, that you do have progress to really show for. But I feel that the resolve and the fight, which I know are some of the worst cliches in college football, if not in all sports, it's something that this Arizona State team has really showed time and time again. And I know a lot of folks doubted the direction the program is headed in after a 55-3 loss to Utah. But we know in this sport, it's all about what have you done for me lately, and this is what Arizona State has done right now. Has really delivered to the fans that were here at the Rose Bowl. A lot of fans watching back in the Valley too. Really showing that they do have the talent and they do have the hard work and the resolve to match it. And I think after a week where nothing went right for Arizona State, tonight in the Rose Bowl, it seems like everything did go right and actually did go to plan. There was a method to the madness, and then we'll talk about that in a second. What Kenny Dillingham was cooking in his lab up until this game. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you're hinting at the offense there, so we'll start with that. We saw 3 different pass throwers today, not only Trenton Bourguet, but the other 2 aren't even listed as quarterbacks on the roster. It was Jalen Conyers and Cameron Scadaboo. Kenny Dillingham really had to do everything that he could to work with what he had with a banged-up O-line, a banged-up Trenton Bourguet, to try and give this offense a different look, to put some points on the board. And I would say that he succeeded tonight. Despite 17 points, it was enough to take down UCLA.
Yeah, without a doubt, Nick, because I think it definitely was a struggle, and it's a struggle for all the reasons that you mentioned. I mean, Trent Bourguet, the quarterback, was not 100% healthy. So now you need to bring tight end Jalen Conyers, running back Cam Scadaboo as quarterbacks. Full disclosure, Nick and I, our entire staff, we saw it all week in practice. Obviously, we could not report it to you guys ahead of time, but we knew exactly what was coming. And I think UCLA, as stout of a defense that they have, really did not see this coming whatsoever. Just the wacky formations, the swinging gate, where you had all 5 offensive linemen line up to one side of the field, and then you have Trent Bourguet, sometimes Jalen Conyers, sometimes Cam Scadaboo lining up to get the snap with only 2 players in front of them. And Kenny Dillingham said that his program, as wacky as it looks from the outside looking in, was sound, and there really was a reason to employ that, because he called this UCLA front, and I don't think he was even being hyperbolic about it, mouth-breathing dragons. I mean, you and I talked in the preview a couple of days ago. This is a front and really a defense in entirety that was almost averaging 4 sacks a game. Trent Bourguet is not 100% healthy. I mean, we saw it even in the game today, limping after a few plays. And Dillingham said at the post-game conference, and probably saying really all week long to his team, I can't have Trent Bourguet, or really any quarterback for that matter, just stand behind a quote-unquote traditional formation for 60, 70 snaps. And he really just had to go deep into his bag of tricks, and he really worked like a charm. Cam Scadaboo on that 9-1-6 Sacramento connection throws a 25-yard touchdown to Elijah Badger. And Cam Scadaboo said after the game that wasn't exactly the pass that he intended, not exactly the play that he intended. But as I said a few minutes ago, this is a game where everything did go right for the ASU offense, even though it really wasn't lights out. Jalen Conyers completed his 2 passes. It was a game where ASU as an offense only had, to 250 yards total, but it seems like they just absolutely were able to extract the maximum that they're able to with all the factors that are in place, and this trickery against a coach like Chip Kelly, who is known for his own trickery on offense, it really did work like a charm. But again, make no mistake about it, Kenny Dillingham wasn't trying to be cute, wasn't trying to be over creative. This is the hand that he was dealt in terms of his personnel. This is the hand he was dealt in terms of the type of defense that the opponent was presenting, and he really did the best the best that he could. And when he realized that, in watching film, that swinging gate play, that type of formation could really throw the UCLA defense off balance. He thought he was going to utilize it and utilize it again, and really have different variations of it. And again, 17 points is not something you're going to write home about. But what you're definitely going to write home about is coming here to the Rose Bowl and upsetting UCLA 17-7. Again, ASU defies another double-digit road underdog. When is Las Vegas going to learn? When are the people betting against ASU going to learn? Here's ASU not losing by double digits, but actually winning by double digits.
In the ASU defense, after getting thrashed last weekend in Utah, allowing 55 points, they're back to their previous form, only giving up 7 points. And sure, UCLA had some quarterback issues of their own, but it was still a ground attack that has given plenty of other teams trouble. But ASU, as Kenny Dillingham really mentioned in the postgame, just winning the moments that mattered. 3 different fourth down stops, a fumble recovery. Everything was clicking for the defense tonight.
Yeah, UCLA was 0-4 on their fourth down conversions. 3 of 10 on third down conversions. They still had 300 yards of offense, but their average yards of play was just over 5 yards. So they really had to labor for those 300 yards. And true, I mean, if you want to say ASU did catch a break, they didn't have to face Ethan Garbers or Dante Moore, their 1 and 1A quarterback in the depth chart, but rather had to face somebody like Colin Schlee, who definitely is not a good passer at all, but a very good runner. Sure. I mean, I think there's definitely some merit to that aspect. UCLA ultimately still had 183 yards on the ground, so it wasn't like that this ASU defense just absolutely just took him out of the game. But I mean, Brian Ward, the ASU defensive coordinator, is proving in the upteenth time why he deserved that 3-year contract extension that Arizona State offered him, and how much he's able to elevate that defense. Just from a year ago, with big thanks to the transfer portal. And you talk about the transfer portal, and it's really those players, those newcomers that really made their mark. Deshaun Mallory, defensive tackle, had 9 tackles. That is absolutely unheard of for any defensive tackle on any level. But that shows you how much he was able to neutralize the UCLA rushing attack, which again still had a healthy amount of yards. But when it counted most, especially on those fourth downs that you mentioned, they were not able to move the ball. And Arizona State was also able to generate a turnover with a fumble recovery. And they really just made life miserable for Colin Schlee, because when they're able to put them on third and long situations, those are situations that Colin Schlee does not want to be in, because, again, passing the ball is not his forte by any means. The offense definitely did enough to support the defense, but the defense, it was an absolute masterpiece. If it wasn't for the game against Washington, where they actually prevented a touchdown from the Huskies, I would say this is probably the best defensive performance by the Sun Devils. But I would say it's a pretty close second to what we saw in Seattle. Just a great job by the defense. Sure, again, they did catch a break with UCLA having the number 3 quarterback, but to come over here in the Rose Bowl, a venue that UCLA has yet to lose up until tonight, I think that there is to say a lot about what Arizona State presented.
So this visit to the Rose Bowl marks Arizona State's final road trip of the season. Next week, they're going back home. They've got Oregon and then Arizona the following week. But this game against Oregon will be an interesting one for Kenny Dillingham. And we thought we saw a lot of trickery tonight. You wait until you see what Dan Lanning has up his sleeve with the Oregon Ducks, who are probably the best team in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I'd say them and Washington are definitely the creme de la creme of the conference. And sure, if we thought that Kenny Dillingham's bag of tricks was pretty deep, and trust me, it showed how deep it was tonight. I think it's going to have to get just a little deeper against Oregon, because much like the Washington State game, you just have two staffs that are really familiar with each other, really familiar with the tendencies, really familiar with the capabilities of the players. So I think Kenny Dillingham, I don't want to say has to reinvent himself, but not everybody saw what Cam Scatterwood can do also at quarterback, and for that matter also Jalen Conyers. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of plan he does come up with. Oregon obviously has a lot to play for. They did beat USC just a few minutes ago, and they know that they have to win the remaining games if they want to be in contention for the Pac-12 championship game, and maybe even have a shot at the college playoff. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game, but I think that ASU is coming in with that much more confidence, because what they did tonight, it wasn't only the win, Nick, is just the fact that they were able to be absolutely creative, and again, there really was a method to the madness. I mean, what they did. I know you're going to enjoy the highlights of this guy to my right. What he was able to put together. It really just was a fun win. I think any ASU fan, whether you're here in the Rose Bowl, just watching at home, you just have a big smile on your face, not because ASU won in an absolute struggle of the season, but it's the way that they won it. What I think was just really an absolute joy to watch, and really shows the masterful game plan that the coaches on both sides of the ball for the Sun Devils were able to put. Two quick notes. 2001 remains the last season where Arizona State was winless on the road. So that's one feat you can look at. And for some people that thought that there's no way ASU is going to better their 3-9 record from last year, well, at least tonight they did accomplish that at least are going to match the win total from last year. Obviously, Arizona State is looking for that 4th and 5th win, and really, after we saw tonight, Nick, I mean, I don't know if you really can bet against this team anymore. I already said a few minutes ago that Las Vegas keeps on thinking that if you put them as a 2-touchdown or more underdog on road or at the home, that it's actually going to be a good bet. So. We'll see what that bag of tricks for Kenny Dillingham, and it's also Brian Ward on defense. So what's going to showcase on Saturdays in Oregon? I think it might be just another fun game like we saw tonight.
Yeah, the Sun Devils will definitely look to carry that momentum back home as they take on Oregon this week. So for all the coverage surrounding the team as they prepare for this big game, keep it locked in at DevilsDigest.com and drop a follow on Twitter at DevilsDigest. That's Todd Urbino. My name is Nick Borgia. We thank you so much for tuning in. Signing off from the Rose Bowl. We'll see you next time.